Hello and welcome to installment number 2 on My Disney Experience. Today we're going to be talking Fast Passes. So we're going to talk about how to book a Fast Pass, why we're going to want to book a Fast Pass, and when we can start booking our Fast Passes prior to our arrival to Walt Disney World. So, let's get to it. Fast Passes. So if you've never been to any of the Disney resorts before, you may not know what a Fast Pass is. The basics are it's a reservation of a 1-hour block of time where you can go to a specific ride and skip the majority of the normal line. At Walt Disney World, you can make these in advance. If you're staying off property and not at a Walt Disney World resort, then you can make these at 7 a.m. 30 days prior to your arrival. If you are staying at a Walt Disney World resort, you have the benefit of being able to make them up to 60 days in advance. And again, that opens at 7 a.m. on that 60 days prior to your arrival at your resort reservation. Now, the benefit of booking these early is there are only a certain number of Fast Passes per ride that are going to be made each day. So, the earlier you can book them, the more likely you are to get a time that works for you and the rides that you want. There are definitely some rides that are much more popular than others. Not all Fast Passes are created equal. That being said, we are going to talk through how to maximize your time and be able to skip the longer lines so you can do more in the parks. So before we get going with the step-by-step how-to, you're going to need a couple things already set up in order to make these Fast Pass reservations. The first is going to be a My Disney Experience account. If you don't have that set up yet, I behoove you to go back episode 1, stop skipping steps, create your account, and then come back here. If you already have the account, the second thing you need is a valid park admission. You need to have already purchased a ticket to be able to enter Walt Disney World before you make Fast Pass reservations. The reason they do this is if all these people who just want to be able to, I have it as a backup, as a reservation, and then they never come to the parks, they don't delete them, that would end up clogging up the system and not everybody would be able to get the benefit of going to the parks and being able to have as much fun. So, 1, My Disney Experience account. 2, valid park admission. 3, you're going to want to download the My Disney Experience app on your smartphone. Now you can do this on a web browser, but when you're in the parks you're not going to have your computer with you. You will have your smartphone. This app has so many uses while you're in the parks, it's good to get familiar with it now. So we need the app downloaded, you sign in with your My Disney Experience account, you got those tickets linked onto your My Disney Experience account, and we can start booking Fast Passes. Now we're going to go through the process on how to make a Fast Pass, but the question you need to ask yourself before we do that is, can I make a Fast Pass during my resort stay? Now if you're staying on Disney property, you have a window up to 60 days prior to your arrival at that resort where you can make your Fast Passes, and you can make them after, but we want to do it in this time before you get there so that they're all set up in advance and you can get the rides you want to get. Now if you're not staying on property, you have a 30-day window prior to your arrival that says this is when I can book my Fast Passes. Now they don't know when you're arriving at your other hotel, Airbnb, wherever you're going to be staying. That being said, as long as you have a valid park admission, we can make Fast Pass reservations anytime in the next 30 days. That way, we can practice. If you're not inside that window for your stay, we're going to make Fast Pass sometime in the next month just to see how it works, and we're going to delete them after so someone else can go have fun. Let's make a Fast Pass. Now I'm going to run you through the basics of making that Fast Pass so that you are able to maximize your time while visiting Walt Disney World. Let's grab our phones. We're going to go to the My Disney Experience app by tapping on that icon labeled Disney World. And this is going to start to load. Now, it's during the holidays, so we got the cute little snowflakes. Great. So what you're going to see as soon as the app loads is down at the very bottom of the screen, you're going to see My Nick Wild. You may or may not have a character there, but we're going to tap within that little circle. After you do that, you'll see a couple rows of icons. On the bottom left-hand corner, you'll see Get Fastpass Plus. I'm going to tap on that. It's going to ask me to log in, uses my fingerprint. Now, when it's checking for your Fastpass plans, it not only checks for your own plans, but it's also looking at the plans of all your friends and family, so it can take a second. Here are the plans for the future. I'm not so concerned with those right now, but in the top right-hand corner, there is that little blue plus button that I'm going to tap to be able to make a new Fastpass. This is where you select your party. If you haven't connected with your friends and family already, this is where you're going to want to do that. That way you can select them and all be under the same Fastpass at the same time and experience the attraction together. I'm going solo to the parks later, so I'm going to hit continue with just me selected. Now, here's where I want to point out, I'm going to go today, so I'm going to choose the 22nd. But if I touch and swipe from right to left, it brings up our next calendar, and that goes all the way up to 30 days in advance from my current date. Therefore, if I had a hotel reservation at a Walt Disney World resort, I'd get an extra month and I'd be able to see 60 days in advance. But I'm going to swipe back to December, hit the 22nd, and then I choose which park I'm going to. Now I'm planning on going to Epcot, so I tap on Epcot. And at the very top of your screen, you can see you can choose morning, afternoon, evening, or if you touch and swipe from right to left, you can choose half-hour increments of about what time you're going to get to the parks. Now I'm planning on being there around 2, so I'm going to tap on 2 o'clock, start to scroll down and see what experiences are available. Now let's take a look at this real quick. You can see that I selected 2 and the nearest Soarin' reservation is 7:40 at night. Nearest Text Track is 7:30 at night. This is why you want to make these reservations in advance, because these fill up quick, especially during the busy times of the year. Now I'll continue to scroll down. I'll pick Living with the Land. Highly underrated. I'm going to choose around 2:10 for my time, so I tap the 2:10 p.m. You'll see it gives me a preview of when I can arrive. You get a 1-hour block from 2:10 until an hour after, and I'm going to hit confirm. Once I hit confirm, you get 3 options. 1, make more plans for the same day. 2, make plans for a different day. Or 3, view my selections. Now I'm not making any more plans, so I'm going to hit view my selection. And there we go. That Fastpass has been added on to my already listed plans and experiences. Shows me my times that I can arrive as well as the date. And that's all there is to it when you're making a Fastpass. Now, if all you came here for was learning how to make a Fastpass and get a little bit of a glimpse of what the system looks like, you're all set here. You can head on your way, like, subscribe, do the usual things. Thanks. But if you want a couple more pieces of information that might shed light on why things are working the way they are when you're trying to make your bookings, hang in there. Important thing to know about 2 parks, Epcot and Disney's Hollywood Studios. These parks have a tiered system, which means there are rides that are designated as major and there are rides that are designated as minor. The major rides at Epcot include Test Track, Soarin', Frozen Ever After, and reserved seating for the Illuminations Fireworks Spectacular at the end of the night. You can only pick one of these in advance per day. The rest of the attractions are going to be labeled as minor, and you'll have 2 of those that you can pick in advance. Now, until you have completed all 3 of these attractions, you cannot add any more Fastpasses on to your day. But let's say I have a booking for 8 to 9, 9 to 10, and 10 to 11, and I complete all 3 of those Fastpasses in a row. After I complete that 3rd one, I can start adding more Fastpasses on, and it could be major, major, major. It could be the same ride over and over again if that's what I choose. So I could do Test Track in the morning, go to Living with the Land, and then go on Figment. And as long as I complete all 3, which means you gotta go to those rides, tap in and do them. As long as I complete all 3, I can start adding on Test Track, then Soarin', then back to Test Track, and then do Frozen, as long as those Fast Passes are available. It's a great way to get even more out of your experience when you're visiting the park by scheduling your Fast Passes early and getting there at a decent time in the morning. Now, making all of your advanced reservations early in the morning doesn't just benefit you when you're visiting a tiered park. One of the other benefits is if you have a park hopper option with your pass, where you're able to go in between multiple parks within the same day. Completing your first 3 Fast Passes early in the day opens up the option to make other Fast Passes, your additional one at a time, at other parks. This is where it gets a little confusing. Your first 3 Fast Passes that you make in advance, either at the beginning of that 30 or 60 day window, all have to be within the same park. So if I have a trip coming up in a month, and I'm 30 days out, and on the first day of my trip I want to go to Epcot for the beginning of the morning, and I make 1 Fast Pass for Epcot, the other 2 that I can make in advance also have to be at Epcot. Once I've completed those 3, it opens up the option to do 1 Fast Pass at a time, and those can be at any park. So let's say I want to go to the Magic Kingdom in the afternoon. As soon as I get off that 3rd Fast Pass ride, what I'm going to do is jump on my app, look for Fast Passes at the Magic Kingdom, and try and snag something for what I want to do later in the day. I use this system a lot. If I'm really going to the parks and I want to ride rides, I've had up to 7 or 8 Fast Passes in a single day just by using this one at a time system of grab one, go to it, complete it, and keep going forward. It allows you to do so much more with your day. This is where family priorities come in. If you really wanted to ride Peter Pan, and you're going to Magic Kingdom that day, and the only Peter Pan reservation is at 5 o'clock in the afternoon, you're not hurting yourself by taking that 5 o'clock in the afternoon. It's just you won't be able to add on extra Fast Passes until after that last ride is complete. Just something to keep in mind. It opens up some more options for you. Alright, that's all we have for Fast Passes today. We have gone through when we are allowed to make our Fast Passes, how we're going to make those Fast Passes, and some of the details so that we can maximize our time at Walt Disney World using Fast Passes and skipping as many lines as possible. I want to say thanks for tuning in, thanks for watching. Please hit the like button below, don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you next time.